Impactful message from Medvedev about his duel with Alcaraz. The Russian spoke about his expectations for the Indian Wells 2026 semi-final against Alcaraz and clarified his controversy with Draper. With his morale intact and confidence through the roof, this is how Daniil Medvedev will face the ultimate challenge of going up against Carlos Alcaraz in the Indian Wells 2026 semi-finals, promising another thrilling chapter in the intimate rivalry between the Russian and the Spaniard. After controversially defeating Draper, he appeared at a press conference with a lot to say. Renewed optimism and a level of play reminiscent of his best times. These are the ingredients for optimism around Daniil Medvedev, who seems to be recovering his essence and feeling good about himself again. He is knocking insistently on the top 10 door and has regained that baseline consistency and magical balance between solidity and aggressiveness that makes him so difficult for any opponent. In the press conference, he referred to the controversial situation with Draper and the upcoming duel with Carlos Alcaraz in the Indian Wells semifinals. Clarification on his controversy with Draper, the bizarre and controversial situation that occurred at a key moment of the match, and which could have been crucial for Medvedev winning in straight sets, triggered strong discontent from the Briton, who made it known to Daniil at the net. The Russian was asked about it and spoke candidly about everything that happened and how he saw it with a clear mind. Now I have more information and I recognize that I should have requested the review earlier, without waiting for the point to end. In any case, his movements distracted me. You can see that in my drive I could do much more. I asked the umpire what I should have done and she allowed me to request the video review. She then made the decision. Did it distract me a lot? No. Did it distract me a little? Yes. Enough to give me the point? I don't know, he said. I have a good relationship with Jack. I don't think this incident affected the result. In fact, I told the chair umpire that if she considers the distraction insufficient, 15-15 and we continue playing. I don't feel good about what happened, but I also don't consider that I cheated. There have been decisions during my career that have gone against me, so receiving one on my side is fine, the Russian affirmed. Feelings about his team. When asked about the most notable changes in his tennis and mindset since leaving Gilles Trevara and starting with his current team, led by Thomas Johansson, the Russian was clear. There haven't been many changes in terms of tennis because I know what I have to do to play well, but having a different perspective was necessary. I needed a change, and it's working wonderfully. I also think it's great to know that he was a top-level player because it helps me understand things that happened to me, he explained. Expectations for his duel with Alcaraz. They have met 8 times, with a 6-2 advantage for the Spaniard, and Medvedev has won since their semi-final clash at the 2023 US Open. Right now, I feel that I am playing excellent tennis. I don't want to jump to conclusions saying it's the best tennis of my life, but the fact that the court here is somewhat faster and the balls are different makes me think I have a great opportunity to show my best performance against Carlos. I know he's the toughest possible opponent, along with Sinner, and I will need to give my best to be able to win, said an enthusiastic Daniil Medvedev, optimistic about his progress at Indian Wells 2026. Djokovic warns about Alcaraz. He's so good that he can win any tournament he enters. The Serbian, eliminated in Indian Wells by Draper, praises the Mercian and points out that maintaining fitness will be key to his dominance. Carlos Alcaraz continues a perfect start to the 2026 season, still unbeaten, and his performance has earned recognition from Novak Djokovic. The Serbian, recently eliminated from the Indian Wells tournament after losing to Draper 4-6, 6-4, 7-5-5 in a 2-hour 35-minute match, dedicated words of admiration to the Spaniard and warned about the main challenge to prolonging his dominance on the tour. During a press conference at Indian Wells, Djokovic compared Alcaraz's streak with his historic start in 2011, when he won 41 consecutive matches until Roger Federer stopped him at Roland Garros. The Balkan did not hesitate to affirm that the Mercian possesses the qualities necessary to equal or surpass those records. He can do it, without a doubt. He has everything he needs in terms of tennis, adaptability to different surfaces, physical condition, and recovery capacity, something demonstrated and matured over the years. However, the world number 3 also identified the determining factor for the Spaniard's future. He needs to keep his body fit and healthy. If he does, he's so good that he can win any tournament he enters, said Djokovic, who knows firsthand the challenge of sustaining such a high level throughout an entire season and the physical problems that can derail the best streaks. The Serbian champion also highlighted the precocity with which Alcaraz is achieving milestones on the professional tour. You never know, he's accomplishing historic things at a very young age. It's very demanding. I had that streak, but also others of 25 consecutive wins, he added, emphasizing that several of his own records are among the best season starts in tennis history. The statements from the Serbian came just before his unexpected elimination from the Indian Wells Masters 1000. Draper, reigning champion of the tournament, defeated Djokovic in a dramatic and exhausting match that was decided in the third set with a final score of 4-6, 6-4, 7-5-5. The loss represents a setback for the Balkan, while Alcaraz continues his unstoppable path in search of a new title. Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner do not agree on the controversy dominating the tennis world. In recent weeks, there has been a lot of talk about the time players have to serve after the Merchant start in a striking moment in Doha. In the first set of the ATP 500 quarterfinal in Doha on February 19, which faced Carlos Alcaraz against Karen Khachanov, a virtually unprecedented moment occurred in the Spaniard's career. With the score at 4-4 and shortly after saving a break point, the world number 1 received a warning for taking too long to serve. Carlitos went straight to argue with the chair umpire, Marija Sikake from Croatia, explaining that he went to celebrate with the crowd after his point and didn't have time to get his towel within the 25 seconds stipulated in the rules. At the press conference, he criticized this inflexibility. Let's say there are several chair umpires, the problem is one or two, the same ones who have been a problem in many matches. There are others who are flexible regarding this. I would say that if they understand tennis, they know how to do it. Those who are very strict and have no flexibility simply don't understand the sport, added the world number 1 in harsh statements. During Indian Wells, Jannik Sinner was asked his opinion on the matter, and the Italian was far from as blunt as his top rival. After long rallies or depending on where you finish the point, sometimes you just have to hurry. But that's the rule. It's the same for everyone, he explained. Right now, there are situations where you go a couple of seconds over the shot clock, which is normal sometimes, but yes, you try to stay within 25 seconds, he added in statements published by Uba Tennis. I have my rhythm or routine before serving, but sometimes I don't follow it because I would go over. Unfortunately, that's how it is, he concluded. Sinner admits he's trying to copy Carlos Alcaraz. The world number 2, just like he did with the Big Three, tries to adopt the best facets of the Spaniard's game. After defeating Denis Shapovalov in the third round at Indian Wells, Jannik Sinner spoke on Tennis Channel about how his game is evolving. Specifically, the South Tyrolean player stated that he is trying to copy the best aspects of Carlos Alcaraz's game, just as he did with Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and even Novak Djokovic. When I had the chance to practice with the Big Three, I always tried to pick up small details from each of them. And I do the same now. If I see that something Carlos is doing is great, why shouldn't I try it? The same with Novak and everyone else, explained the Italian. I've seen Zverev playing much more aggressively, for example. Everyone tries to improve, and if you stagnate, everyone else moves ahead. You have to be honest with yourself, and I want to finish my career saying that I maximized my potential, he added. In the next round, he will face João Fonseca, the great gem of the tour and a player he has never faced. Sinner is the clear favorite, but if the Brazilian plays as he did against Tommy Paul, he can give him a tough match.